In this video, I'm going to be comparing the printing style and the printing quality between two printers. The Epson Workforce 7710 printer, which was converted into a sublimation printer, and the Epson Sure Color F170, which is an actual sublimation printer. And we're going to get started right now. Welcome back to the channel, everyone, and welcome back to another video. So glad to have you tuning in here again, where we learn, we grow, and we have fun. It's all about learning here. Now, as I mentioned before, this video is going to be really interesting, and I can't wait myself because we're going to be doing that comparison between the Epson Workforce 7710 printer, which, as I mentioned, was converted from a standard printer into a sublimation printer, versus the Epson Sure Color F170, which is a original sublimation printer. What are your thoughts? Which one do you think will perform better? The one that was converted into a sublimation printer or the original sublimation printer? Want to find out? Stick with me so we can get started. So I'm going to be using probably some different apparels, and I'm going to be doing the print test so we can see the print quality side by side. I'm going to be showing you both of those printers. Let's get started and stay tuned with me. So before we get deep into this comparison and this print quality test, let's take a closer look at both of these printers. So we have the Epson Workforce 7710 here. As you can see, it has a very nice big display screen. However, when we go across to the Sure Color F170, the screen is pretty small, which is okay. Both of them you can push in and allow it to line up flush with the printer, or you can adjust it to suit your liking. Then our next step, we can see we can actually lift the entire lid of our printer here, and you can take a look closer inside, and these here are the tanks. Remember, this printer was converted from a standard printer into a sublimation printer, so you would have had to gotten those tanks and did your conversion. However, the difference is when we came to our Sure Color here, F170, you can see that this has original tanks already installed, right? The Eco tank, it has its tanks already installed right here. So if we take a look closer down in there and you take a look here, you can see there is a difference, of course, and we all know that the printers, one is larger, one is smaller. All right, let's move on and look at the trays for paper. So when it comes for the trays, let's take a closer look here. As we know, this printer can print up to 13 by 19. So you can clearly see that you can make some adjustments when it comes to your paper sizing. So you can make some serious adjustments. Let's take a look now at the Sure Color. You can make quite adjustments here, but you cannot print more than 8.5 by 11. We have this tray that when the paper is feeding out, it will come on there, and the same thing for the Epson Workforce 7710. So far we are seeing one printer is bigger than the other. We are looking at the paper size, bigger, smaller. We see that this printer here was converted into a sublimation printer where you had to purchase the tanks and fill them up with sublimation ink. However, this printer is the actual original sublimation printer. Which one would produce better quality? It's time for us now to find out. So before I jump into my computer and show you the design that we'll be using for today's video, I first want to put on the screen very shortly the equipment, tools, and resources we will be using in this video. So the equipment the materials, and every single thing that I'll be using. So firstly, as you would have seen before, and you can see right now, I'm going to be using two Epson printers. The first one is the Workforce 7710 Epson printer, and this was converted into a sublimation printer. So this was a standard regular printer, and I converted this into a sublimation printer. Then we have here on the right side now, this is actually an original sublimation printer. This came prepared and ready. All we had to do was to install the sublimation inks, and this is the Epson Sure Color F170. Also, I will be using the HPN Signature Series heat press, and this heat press is coming from Heat Press Nation. And I also will be using the HPN Signature Series mug press, which is also from Heat Press Nation. So both of these heat press I'll be using for our video. For our materials that we'll be using in this video, I will firstly be using this sublimation bottle here. This is a 17-ounce bottle, so I'll be using that. We also have some material here that is high in percentage with polyester and also cotton, and I will be using ASA paper and some heat resistant tape. And what I'm going to do is to place all of these materials, all the tools, whatever I will be using, I'm going to put it down in the description for you, so you can click on those links down there and you can make your purchases and you can find these items, these tools, and so forth. Let's jump into my computer now. Let's see the design and let's get printing. So we're in the Silhouette Studio program right now. We're about to have some fun. We're about to see and test the two different print qualities, and also an idea that just came to mind, we can also test the printing speed of both of them to see which one will print out faster than the other. So the plan right now is, what we're going to do is I'm going to print this parrot twice, one onto the Epson WF7710 printer and one on the Sure Color F170, and we will press two of those images onto that polyester and cotton blend to see which quality is better. Afterwards, I will print my specific logo here to the left hand side of the screen, one on the Epson printer, one on the Sure Color. And also, just to make it more interesting, I am also going to be using plain copy paper for this process. So we're going to be doing about 3 different things when it comes to printing right now. So I'll just go over them again. Firstly, I'll be using ASA paper, and I'll be printing 2 copies of this parrot, one on the Workforce 7710 and one on the F170 Epson Sure Color printer. Then I'm going to come back again and I'm going to print on plain copy paper the same parrot twice, one on the WF7710 and one on the Sure Color F170. And then finally, I will use a sub paper to print my logo here on the left side of the screen, and I will attach it onto my sublimation bottle. So we're going to go over to File and Print, and we're going to start off with the Epson first. And what I'm going to do is to show you the entire process. So I'm going to turn on the printers, I'm going to show you that, and then we are going to go through every single step in terms of what quality, what media type of paper I'll be using, the settings itself, so that you can have all of these steps. So we're here in the print settings right now, and as you can see, I have my Epson WF7710 printer selected. I'm going to go down to this section here where it says layout, and I always like to check my print settings itself. I like to make sure that I have the correct tray that I'll be using. The media type will be high quality plain paper, and the print quality will be to the highest. What I'm going to do, alright, I'm going to actually change it up a bit, and I'm going to use premium presentation paper matte, and I'm going to put the quality to best quality, and I'm also going to select mirror image when this is finished. So I'm going to be using premium presentation paper matte for my media type, and print quality will be best quality. And I'm going to mirror my image, and then I am going to print on it. So as mentioned before, this same process I'll be doing for the Sure Color F170. So what I'll do now is to show you the process of me turning on both printers, and we're going to test and see which one will print out the parrot faster. And now we are about to begin the printing to see which one of these printers will print out faster than the other. So we can clearly see with the two, the Sure Color came out first, but we had some connectivity problems. But in my estimation, the Epson Workforce 7710 is actually printing much faster than the Sure Color. We'll try it on the second printing test. And first we're going to take a look at the quality of the Epson 7710, and then we're going to compare it to the Sure Color F170. So we have the F170 on the right, and we have the Epson Workforce 7710 on the left. Which colors look brighter? Honestly, to me, it looks like if this side is much brighter. And remember, this printer, the Sure Color F170, is a sublimation printer. We converted this one. Maybe it could be all to do with the settings also. Let's take a closer look. If we look at the yellow, you can see there's a difference. So we have round 2, and we're testing to see that print quality again, but we are using normal A4 paper, standard normal A4 paper. And this time the Epson 7710 is out of the blocks first, and the Sure Color has not started to print as yet. Let's see what's gonna happen. So we can see that the Sure Color F170 is now beginning to print. And this one seems like it's going to be a very close one. I can see the Epson 7710 right now, paper is coming out. And if you look slightly to the right, you can see the paper is coming out also out of the Epson Sure Color F170. Let's see what's gonna happen. So we can see that even though the Epson Workforce 7710 started first, the Sure Color actually caught back up and is finished printing the image. Now bear in mind, both of these images are the same. Both of these images are the same. Let's take a look at the quality now. And remember, this is just standard paper, normal A4 paper you will use in your everyday printer. And we're going to press this on to those poly cotton blends. I'm going to be using this sublimation bottle first. I'm going to place it inside of my HPN Signature Series mug press. I'm going to be using 400 Fahrenheit. Well, it's saying 401 right now, but 400 Fahrenheit at 60 seconds with a medium to firm pressure. Okay, now what I'm going to do is to make sure that I size these two images here, or if you want to call them designs, properly onto my bottle. You want to make sure you get them properly onto your bottle in a nice area, and then I'm going to heat press it for 60 seconds. Now that I'm finished with wrapping my bottle and placing my image and my design onto the bottle, now my next step now would be to place my bottle into the mug press for about 60 seconds, and then we're going to see what the result and how it comes out with this ink. And now that our bottle is finished, I highly do recommend that you get some gloves because this can be pretty hot. And I am going to remove it. It's pretty hot. Hopefully I did not burn it, but we are going to see. You can see, oh, it has some brownness in it, so it actually cooked probably a little too much, or maybe it had too much pressure. So what I'm going to do is to take a peek at it and see if I have to put it back in the mug press. So you can clearly see here at the top, it doesn't have that much brownness, but the bottom does, which means that the top did not get that full amount of heat or pressure. I'm gently going to pull it off. Wow. Yes, it actually did work. Let's try the next one. And this is just a smart way before you actually pull off the entire image. You can always take your time and peel back your paper just to make sure and see if the ink actually went right on. We actually had some bleed on one of them here. So this one is pretty okay. So I'm just going to take all of the paper right off. Take a look at this. And then I'm going to take off the side. Now, for those who normally watch my videos, you would know and see that there's always some kind of white residue, and this is A-sub paper. A-sub paper normally gives off some white residue on it. However, you know how I normally deal with that. I would get some water and a piece of cloth and I'll wipe it off. We can clearly see we have a little bleed right there. A little bleed we have right there, but that is okay. Let's take a closer look at it. Tell me in the comment section, guys, what you think about this bottle. I'm really excited now. This quality is really, really, really nice. I'm excited about what we can do with this kind of quality and these bottles. So what I'm going to do is to wipe this off, and after we press the different material, we'll come back and do a review. Now, before we get printing these 4 images onto our material, I first want to remind you what we would have done. Now, I've made some marks here. If you look at the top, you'll see 7710 and Sure Color. You know, forgive my handwriting. But to the left is the 7710. That is the quality when we print on normal A4 copy paper. And the one to the right here, which is Sure Color, this is with the Epson SureColor F170 printer, and this is standard copy paper. So the two to the top is standard copy paper. You can let me know down in the comment section even right now which one you think is much brighter. Now let's take a look at the A sub paper, and we did the same thing. This is A sub paper here for these two, and the one to your left is the Workforce 7710 print quality, and to the right here is the Sure Color F170 print quality. Go ahead and tell me what you think so far and in terms of the quality print. Now we are going to apply these 4 images here onto those materials, and we are going to take a look back and see the quality. So I have my material here, and as I mentioned before, this is polyester and also cotton. I was hoping and trying to find 100% polyester material, because I know if the 100% polyester, it gives me a more accurate read and the colors are more brighter when it comes to sublimation. However, I'm going to be using this material here, once again, polyester and cotton mixed together. I am honestly not sure of the percentage, but we're going to be using 400 Fahrenheit, as you can see up there. Well, it's the 401 right now, but we're going to be using 400 Fahrenheit at 60 seconds. I've placed some paper down on my heat press. I don't want any bleeding to take place, so I've placed my paper down on the heat press. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to pre-press this garment for about 2 seconds, get out some of those wrinkles from out of the garment. And I am going to start off by printing the 2 designs with the A sub paper. So remember, we did copy paper and we also did A sub paper. So we're going to start off with the A sub paper prints first. And remember, I wrote just a little wording at the top so that I can actually know which one is which. So this one at the top would be the WF 7710 printer, and I'm going to turn it on the side here. And then the second one would be the Epson Sure Color F170. I'm going to place that under it. And now we press for about 60 seconds. But first, I'm going to cover both images with another sheet of paper, and then a firm pressure for about 60 seconds. So we are approaching that time. And now we are going to be able to see what actually happened here. Now, let me see if I can show you. You can actually see some bleeding coming out of the paper. I could actually see some of the ink that came out of on the paper. Now we are going to take a closer look at these. But what we'll do, we'll take it off, we'll rest it aside, we will do the other 2, and then we will do a comparison and a review afterwards. So we're going to put this aside, and we are going to implement our second images. Remember, these were printed on standard copy paper. So I'm going to go ahead, pre-press this here just for a couple seconds, and I'm just actually going to adjust the pressure a little more. And as custom, we're going to put the 7710 printed design to the top, and then we're going to place the Sure Color F170 at the bottom. We're going to place our sheet of paper over again. Okay, and once again, we can clearly see that the ink bleed through this paper. You can see it clearly on this paper. And now I'm going to take off this one. Remember, the bottom one would be the Epson Sure Color F170. Wow. And the top is the 7710. This is going to be a serious comparison. Stick with me as I set these up so we can actually do a review and look at the quality. So I'm back now, and it's time to do a review on the quality of the printing and the quality of the printers. Let's see and let's discuss this. Let's start off by looking at the A-sub paper. And as mentioned before, I have it lined up correctly so you can see. We have the Sure Color to your left here, and you have the Workforce 7710 printed to your right. So let's take a look first at how much ink came off of these. Clearly, from my viewpoint, you can let me know down in the comment section, and I really want you to communicate with me and let's draw a discussion here. But I can see that there's still a lot more ink left on this one, which is the Sure Color F170, and there is less ink here. You can look at it and tell me what you see. I'm going to try to get as best angle as possible, but you can take a look and let me know. This one looks more brighter, this looks a little more fadey. So let's actually take a look at the quality itself. And remember, this material was not 100% polyester, so we have to also look at that as a point of view in this quality test between the two printers. So we have first the Sure Color, and then we have the Workforce 7710. I am going to say they look pretty close to me. The quality is really nice on both of them. I'm going to leave this one to you guys to tell me in the comment section which one looks more brighter, looks like it have more color than the next. You can actually put in the comment section Sure Color F170, or you can put WF7710. So let's interact and you tell me exactly which one of these have more color, or the color is more crisp and looks better. But in my eyesight, I love both of them. They're actually producing a really nice quality, and when I do get some polyester, I am going to be able to do some more print tests, and we're going to see, I guess, a richer quality. Okay, let's head over to the copy paper. Now this again here would be, this one here would be the Workforce 7710, and this one here would be the Sure Color. So let's put them side by side and let's take a look at the quality. And this is regular copy paper. So in my eyesight, from my lighting, from what I can see, it kind of balances off itself right now. They look like it took out as much ink as possible on both ends. Let me know down in the comment section. And then when we take a closer look at both of the butterflies, we have the WF7710 and we have the Sure Color. Which one is brighter? And I'm gonna bring it closer in so you can see. And bear in mind and remember, you're going to be seeing these like whitish lines because this material is also cotton and is also polyester. All right. So tell me what you think, or what is your opinion, or which one would you go with? The Workforce 7710 printer or the SureColor F170 Epson printer? This is copy paper. Let's go over to the A sub again. SureColor F170 or Workforce 7710. What are your comments? I would really love to hear your views on this one. So I want to thank you guys for watching. I want to thank you guys for all of your support. I'm really excited about a lot more videos to come. Stick with me. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe because there are so many persons out there that want to get some information just like this. So make sure that you actually share so others can also benefit from our tutorials and from our videos. We're going to be doing this together. So let me know down in the comment section what you think about this process and the print quality, meaning the Workforce 7710 printer versus the Epson Sure Color F170. Which print quality do you think came out better? I leave it to you in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching again, and remember, we do make your prints and fashions come alive.